to our webinar, and our topic today will be our contact center connection with 3CX through VoIPTools. We will record this webinar and share all the information, the slides from the presentation and the recording in a follow-up email. If you would have any kind of questions, please do not hesitate to type them in the control panel. Today's agenda we will start with an overview about the features from VoIPTools and proceed with a product overview from our side, from Mirage, and then go deeper into details about the CTI data connector with Salesforce. Sorry, with 3CX. And then we would proceed with a live demonstration to see how the connection is working with Salesforce and incoming calls with 3CX. Then we have a slight insight to our features, automatic call distribution and audio recording in Salesforce, and end the session in a Q&A. So once again, if you would have any kind of questions, please type them in the chat and we will answer them afterwards. Now I can hand over to Matthew. He will give us an overview about the features with VoIPTools.
Hello. I'm just taking a look here to see how I do. Let's see. So I want to share just a window. This one. There we go. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. Dieter reached out to us. He is using our REST API to build his integration with Salesforce, and he thought it would be good for his customers to learn a little bit more about our company and what we do. So VoIPTools is a company that specializes in building add-on tools for 3CX. So we've been doing this now for well over 14 years. We've got customers in over 100 countries around the world. We build tools for call centers. So this will be things like wallboards and dialers and call center tools, recording management, emergency notification, survey tools, those kinds of things. So we have quite a number of tools, and I can kind of give you just a quick sense of the different types of tools that we have. And these that I have on the screen are just a subset of the tools that we've created. We have probably somewhere approaching 40 commercial tools, and these are extensions to 3CX. And then we have probably another 100 or so custom tools that we've developed for our customers around the world. So frequently we're building things like wallboards and call flow designer applications and those kinds of things. So if you're familiar with 3CX, we build a lot of tools for customers using the call flow designer as well as our APIs and the APIs provided by 3CX, in particular the 3CX call control API. So today, I don't want to steal any thunder from Dieter and what they're here to show you. So I just want to give you a sense of the kinds of things that we do, and that Dieter is leveraging the same API that all of our tools use, which we've developed. And we've spent quite a bit of effort on security to make sure that our applications are secure and that they communicate with 3CX in a secure way. Just this week, we released a new version of all of our tools that included JWT authorization. So this is, on technical terms, it means that it requires a token in order to communicate with our software, and of course everything's encrypted. But I'm getting off into the weeds, and I really didn't want to spend too much time talking about us. This is really about Dieter and their integration with Salesforce. And so let's leave it there. And then if people have questions about specific tools like emergency notifications and those kinds of things, happy to answer some questions once we get to the end. All right, so Dieter, I guess I will turn it back over to you guys.
Matthew, thank you very much. And he really has a very good set of tools which are add-ons for 3CX so that you get really the most out of 3CX. Yeah, I'll give you a quick introduction in our company and products. Mirage is a very long time in business, since 1995 with all our products together. We have over 3,500 customers in more than 75 countries. We've been one of the first Salesforce users in Germany in 2005, a long time Salesforce partner. Now, from the customer side, we do have all type of customers. We do have a lot of customers with up to 10 seats, and typical customer size is between 30 and 100 CTI licenses, but we also have larger customers. What you see here on the slides are well-known brands. And our specialty especially is that we can combine multiple telephone systems in one Salesforce organization. So if you have in a branch office a 3CX, in another office you have Teams, we can use that in one Salesforce org. Now we do have two main products. The product we are showing today is CTI Data Connector for Salesforce. That's our product where we started, and the product was listed on AppExchange since 2011. And it's a native integration in Salesforce. But in the meantime, we also support Mirage Service Cloud Voice. Service Cloud Voice is the product from Salesforce, but without a connection to a telephone system. And what we are providing here is that we integrate in Service Cloud Voice, which is very specialized for call centers, contact centers, and add some additional features for Service Cloud Voice and bring in our connectors to the telephone system, and of course also for 3CX. And then we have a suite which combines three different products, the CTI application, then the automatic call distribution based on Salesforce data. We will explain that a bit later. When a call comes in, you can make a lookup, find the name, greet the user with his name, or you can find the account owner. And the other product is archiving audio file recordings and linking it to Salesforce. And that's available as the contact center suite. Now I hand over to Kustrim, who will explain you a bit about the product.
Thank you, Dieter, and welcome also from my side. A quick one or two word about me. My name is Kustrim Bresnica. I am a Senior Customer Success Manager by Mirage Systems. So I'm the contact person for our customers in the onboarding rollout process and after the after sales step. So here we have an overview of the Salesforce platforms that our system supports. So on the top left, you see Lightning, or the classic variant for Sales and Service Cloud. Also, all clouds like Sales and Service Clouds are supported. In addition, our system supports the Sales Engagement Platform, or formerly called High Velocity Sales. And then we have Omnichannel, where the present status can be synchronized. So you define that an agent working on a chat or a case does not get in an inbound call. The product is based on OpenCTI, which is a native integration in the browser. Mirage also supports Service Cloud Voice as a different integration option. A few words about the product itself. It is a so-called managed package that is then installed natively in Salesforce itself. It is available in many languages, and the special feature here is that there are over 100 configuration options. So this means you can customize the product to a team or to a single person. For example, a call comes in, one employee wants an opportunity displayed, so the other wants to see the customer transaction, and the other wants to work with SMS, etc. So all of this can be customized in Salesforce. We need one cloud for all integrations, so you can choose a location, Germany, Ireland, USA, and Singapore. So and here are no data is stored in the cloud. So it is only routing call events. So all the data is stored in Salesforce, and the product is fully GDPR compliant. Here we offer quite extensive dashboards and report for all application areas. For example, evaluation of calls, or we also have dashboard for power dialer or SMS evaluation. With 3CX, you don't have the change anything in the phone systems. For example, all routing configuration, IVR or voicemail will not be changed. So in the next slide, between the 3CX specific features. So here, here we had an overview about the specific features of the 3CX. So synchronize present states, so bidirectional synchronization, individual present states in Salesforce. So this is a synchronization of the current availability status of users in real time between Salesforce and 3CX. So this can be used, for example, to manage online or also offline status, the employee presence and absence, our resource availability, and more. So the live agent dashboard shows the present state for all users. All clients are supported for this, the Windows soft phone, for the browser, mobile phone, desk phone, and the Microsoft Teams. Another feature is the smart interactive voice response, or IVR, in combination with a call distribution based on Salesforce data. So when a case or contract number is entered into the IVR, then the call can be routed to the case or to the contract owner. And we have the audio recording. So the audio recording allows for archiving and linking the audio file to Salesforce, including comprehensive permission and transcription of calls. So this can be useful, for example, to record a conversation with customers or refer to them later, or to record a meeting or training session. And for this, you need, or it's required for this feature, an Amazon account. And here we have, here you can see the technical implementation. So all possible extension for the browser, the desktop, the 3CX soft phone, the mobile app, or the Microsoft Team, all of them are supported. So the VoIPTools service, relay service, is installed on the 3CX server for Windows or Linux, and is this communicating with the Mirage cloud. So when a call comes in, 3CX send the call to a device like a 3CX soft phone and an event via VoIPTool to the Mirage cloud. So then a call is in signal in Salesforce, and the inbound call logic starts. So for example, search the caller ID, display a contact, or open a case. So as an option, you can add a call distribution based on Salesforce data and archive and linking the audio file recording to Salesforce. And now we have also prepared a survey for today, a poll. So this starts now, and you can choose an answer to the server within the next 30 seconds. So the question is, are you planning to switch to a new phone system? So the first is yes, within 2 months. The second, yes, within 6 months. Into 2023, oh no. So I think the 30 seconds are done. And so in this part, I hand over to my colleague, Annika.
Thank you, Kushra. Okay, let me take over and share my screen. Well, now we have an insight how the integration itself looks like in Salesforce. So at the moment, I'm on the landing page in Salesforce in a Sales Cloud. And I would just start with an incoming call that we firstly would hear an IVR. We are using the ACD. It's searching for the contact in Salesforce and greeting the contact with its name, and then asking what would be my preferred team for my call. So I would choose sales and then directly be routed in Salesforce to the contact owner. So I start the call now.
Hello, Lisa Schmidt. Welcome. Our phone system is powered by CTI Data Connector and automatic call distribution for Salesforce. To speak to our service executive, press 1. To speak to our sales executive, press 2. To schedule a call back, press 3.
Okay, and that's the time when the call is coming in and showing up in Salesforce. I need to take the call in the 3CX client, so I would pick up the call, and the logic itself is happening in Salesforce or activating in Salesforce. Two things are different. When I took the call, in the behind it opening an object. In this scenario, it's the opportunity from the customer, the latest open opportunity. It's choosable or configurable. You can choose which kind of object needs to open up when you take the call. It can be an account and lead, contact, custom object, case, or opportunity. Then we have the insight in the CTI. So firstly, I see the information from the caller. I have the contact, the account, the number from the contact, and relevant informations that I can show up or display in the CTI, which could help me when I take the call and have contact with the customer. Maybe it's a special agreement, or the customer has a specific status. It can also be more than just 3 fields. In this scenario, we have department, language, and mailing country. Then we do have the possibility to forward calls, so I can make a call transfer maybe to a colleague. I can also search for a colleague in Salesforce and directly see the present state. Regarding present state, we do have the possibility to synchronize the present state with 3CX completely. So in both ways, if I change the status in 3CX, it communicates the status to Salesforce, and I can also change the status in Salesforce itself. So at the moment, I would see, okay, my colleague is not available. I would just go back to my call. Okay. Then we have the possibility to use a free phone note field. So I can type in everything what's relevant from the call. And then we are coming to the section with the drop downs. So the first drop down would be a selection for my call results. And I can group my core results. So I could say, okay, sales have a different core result list as a service, or I could focus myself on products and say, okay, this call handles about CTI data connector, and now I would choose my specific call result for it. Maybe I want to send out a quote. So I just choose them in the drop downs. It's completely configurable. It's laying up to you what you would like to use. Okay, the third section allows me to create something new. It can be an object in Salesforce, standard objects, or also custom objects. And this option or this section can also be used to invoke flows. So if you would like to use a flow in Salesforce, you can build it in Salesforce and invoke it in an active call. Okay, regarding assignment, it defines for me where I find the call afterwards in Salesforce. So we are creating, after the call is hanged up, automatically an activity in Salesforce, and this activity is connected with the contact and the opportunity. I can always manually change the assignment, and the CTI is recognizing if I am opening up a different object in behind. Okay, so I would now hang up the call and could choose a next section what I want to do. Maybe I want to create a follow-up task. As you can see in the down below, that I'm available again. If we take a look in the 3CX, it's also showing that I'm available again. Okay, and then I click on save. And could now quickly create my task. It's the standard task creation mask from Salesforce. We are just automatically typing in the informations that we have from the call. So the contact, the relation to the opportunity, and the date for tomorrow. My subject is something that I would need to type in manually because, yeah, what kind of task do I need to have? So this would be just a reminder for me for tomorrow that I want to send a quote out to this customer. Okay, the task is created, it's saved, and now we can jump in the contact field and take a look into the activity. So we have here just the task that we just created and the inbound call that we just made. If I open up the activity from the call, I see in the description my phone node. These are all the relevant informations that I need to see as a user in Salesforce. Okay. Regarding outbound calls, it's possible anywhere where you are in Salesforce, as long as it is a phone node field, you know for sure you can click on it and it will dial out. I would make now an outbound call from another tool. We do have a power dialer provided within our CTI. It's not an unusual power dialer like for call centers. It's more to organize your calls, and maybe that there's not a need to create extra tasks in Salesforce for the telephony. So you can use your task for none of the topics and focus all your calls in call campaigns in a power dialer. So I can use call campaigns as my private call campaigns. So every user could create an own call campaign, maybe for sales, top opportunities, and I just paste here every kind of contact or lead which are relevant for me, and I know, okay, I need to follow them up and handle the calls. So this would be an overview like that. The first section shows me all the calls that I need to make, and I can just choose one, click on, and then make a call. So I would take the call first in the 3CX client, and now it's dialing out. Okay, and this would be just a call trying, so I did not reach the customer. and could now say, okay, what do I want to do as a next action from the power dialer itself? So I can schedule the call in the future. This would be a good thing to say because I did not reach the customer, so I could say I try again in 1 hour. Now it's disappearing from my personal list where I know, okay, these are my active calls. And if I jump into the next section, I see, okay, here's a scheduled call. We have a counter, it's directly counting down. And if the counter is done, then I know, okay, it's appearing again in my active call list and I know I need to call them. Okay, that was for my own calls as a user. Then I do have the possibility to use call campaigns with groups. And this is relevant if you would maybe have your service team and say, okay, you have a lot of cases where a callback is required, as example here in this campaign, then I would just pick up every team member who is responsible for the callbacks, and they would join this call campaign and have this kind of overview. The first overview or the first selection section shows me all the calls where I know for sure, okay, this needs to be called now because no one has their hands on it. If I would now say, okay, I already had a call with Charlie Brown, but I need to have a follow-up call maybe on the same day with him, then I would just pick Charlie Brown and say, okay, I want to handle this customer in the next hours and choose to take them in my personal space. Because this is a group call campaign, it can happen that the user has a lot of contacts in their personal space. They are disappearing from the group. So you have the possibility to configure it when the user itself is logging out from Salesforce. So he is done with the work. So you could configure to say that every kind of contact from the personal space is then going back to the group campaign. Okay, even here you have the possibility to have scheduled calls, and also you can then put calls on done. Okay. Yes. Good. Then if you would make an outgoing call, would now do it, and you need to take the call and activate the outgoing call in a 3CX client. Now it's going out, and now we could have a quick look in the live agent dashboard, just to be in an active call for that. The live agent dashboard shows all my users in Salesforce, and it shows all my colleagues in which kind of present state they are available at the moment. So this is my alias. He's an outgoing call, and I see also in which kind of contact I just made a call. And this section would show me where do I change my present state. So here, my colleague Tom Meyer, he has an incoming call at the moment. Then you see the extension. You can extend the information from the users with the skills. So if you would need to if you would like to have a colleague who is speaking a specific language or someone from sales, so you could just select and search for persons which has a skill sales, and then you have an overview about all the users who are responsible for sales. Also, a nice feature is the location and the country showing up from the users in a live agent dashboard. So you see the local time from your colleagues if you do have different locations in different time zones. So here you have a good insight. Mr. Meyer is in the US. It's early in the morning, and Simon White is located in Pristina. Then you have in the later afternoon. Okay, good. Then this would be the live agent dashboard. We do also have extended reporting possibilities in pre-configured dashboards where you have all the informations that we can store from the calls in Salesforce. This would be just an example that you could just use. We have an overview about the call results, how many unsuccessful calls you had per day, how many calls you have total in a timeline, showing up in a timeline, and then we can separate calls per accounts per country, or contact or leads. You can always use a filter and define it for the relevant information that you would need. So total call time, inbound, outbound call times, the call result groups selected with every kind of call results. We have a complete overview how many results are occurring the most. Here you would see a no answer. Then you have the overview how many SMS were sent out per day. This is a feature I would just explain later on. And how many calls you had per daytime, so the peak times of your calls. And this is breakdown to outbound, inbound, and internal calls. So if you would also have an information regarding how many internal calls you had, you can separate it and have it just in one diagram. Okay, yes, regarding SMS, we do have the functionality of an SMS possibility. I just end this call to show it. It's a feature, it's available. If you would like to use it, you can configure it. We are using in behind an Amazon Pinpoint service for this. There's a possibility to send out manually an SMS, so I can type in a message that I want to, or you have pre-configured templates from Salesforce. Maybe you was unable to reach the contact, then you just choose to have an template for that. And you can also build the SMS feature in flows in Salesforce, like if a case is created that the customer gets an information on their mobile phone that the case is created. Okay, good. That was so much for the demonstration. Now we would have a quick question. It would now jumping in the screen. So are you interested in a 3CX phone system? Maybe you're already using it, or maybe you're looking for it. That would really be an interesting topic. Okay. I already see a lot of answers coming in. Thank you for everyone for the time. And now I can hand over to my colleague, Chewy. He will give us a feature overview regarding the automatic call distribution and the audio file and archive service.
Unmute myself. And from my side also, thank you for coming on, and thank you for taking part in our webinar. And we'll talk about the automatic call distribution. As Dieter earlier said, the automatic call distribution, the ACD or the audio link and archive service, ALAS, can be used to extend the functionalities of the 3CX or telephone system to a comprehensive contact center solution in Salesforce. You can use call distribution based on Salesforce data to further get more information in Salesforce and to get your customer then to the right agent. The call distribution as such use the ACD to transfer a call to the contact or account owner automatically. We use the following, we use the following scenario internally. If you call Mirage, we use the IVR and the ACD to find your number. In Salesforce, the ACD then checks who your account owner is, if the owner is available based on the bidirectional present state check of 3CX and the CTI, the ACD logic transfer your call to the account owner, who might then be Annika, Dita, CoStream, or myself. We do a lookup. We can do a lookup in Salesforce. We look up any data. For example, if the customer has a high service level agreement, we put him on a priority queue or transfer to a VIP team if he's a VIP customer. Other options are to check the caller's language, provided you have the language information in Salesforce or the country the caller is calling from. And we put him then in the queue for French speaking or France, for example. We can also do a write back in Salesforce based on the write back in Salesforce based on the IVR input, and this is a function that actually comes up in a case where you have a customer like being in your queue and he's about to leave the queue, and the IVR gives him the opportunity to automatically book a call back or to book an appointment, and we do the write back in Salesforce. The last on what we can do is the personalization of your calls that are coming in. The ACD reads then the customer name from the customer's database in Salesforce, and with text to speech, we can greet the customer by name before transferring the call to the account owner in Salesforce. That's what was actually shown by Annika at the start. Another function is the ALAS. The audio link and archive service offers a unique solution to link audio file recording to Salesforce, which you generate with a 3CX phone system, 3CX phone system. Use 3CX to do the call recording. The Mirage service pushes then the audio files of the recording to an Amazon S3 server for backup and long-term storage. The server is always the customer's owned S3's Amazon server. We build then the needed backup rules, and including call transcription if it's part of the customer's requirement. We use the audio file information like date, call ID, the caller ID, the call ID, the file name, inbound or outbound call to link the audio file to the required Salesforce record. This intelligent search logic connects the audio file stored on the customer server via API to Salesforce lead, account, contact, or the phone task, which was generated with the incoming or outgoing call. User can play the recording in the browser depending on permissions defined in the ALAS app in Salesforce. And that might be, for example, you have a user A can only see the call, can only see that there's a call recording, cannot play. Maybe user B cannot even see that there's a recording, whereas user C has a complete permission to like play the call or even see the transcription done after the call. So for the setup, you actually see here, the call is then recorded on the 3CX side with the audio files, and we push the audio files with our service to the customer's Amazon S3. That's where we then do the backup rules, the permission rules, or the storage term rules. Then on Amazon S3, push then that via API to Salesforce on record, on different records on Salesforce, depending on the customer's needs. And with that, that was actually like I'll say a marathon overview of the ALAS and ACD. We do still have many other functionalities accompanying those products. If you want more info to that, you can always get back to us. And now we'll continue with our last poll for today. which is, do you want to get more information about VoIPTools? With a yes or a no, so that we can contact you and give you those informations that you need. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. And then we'll then push to Q&A. And I'll hand over to Annika for the Q&A.
Thank you, Chewy. Yes, we do also have a lot of questions. Maybe we start with the first one. Can you answer that call through Salesforce? I think that is a question regarding the demonstration earlier. I need to take the call first in 3.6 in a 3.6 client. You can automate it that the 3.6 is popping up in front if the call is coming in. So you took the call once in the client and everything else is then handled in Salesforce. So you can hang up the call in Salesforce. Okay, good. Second one would be, can we use a hosted version of 3.6? I think this is a question for Matthew.
So it depends on the hosting company. 3CX doesn't even allow their own call flow designer application to run on their hosted platform, but pretty much any other hosted platform, whether that's Google or Azure or Amazon, for example, our tools work with that. So yeah, it would work fine.
Okay, thank you. I think the next question would also be for you, Matthew. How is the support working?
So for our tools, we have 24/7, 365 support. So you can call, chat, email our support team. One of the things that's a little bit different about how we approach support versus how 3CX supports their tools is that when you purchase our tools, you'll schedule a time and our engineers will log in and install the applications and configure them for you. You can have an unlimited number of training events. So if you have staff change and you need to be retrained, that's all included with our support.
That sounds awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I think one question, this is something that we can handle in this time. How secure is the communication? And I think that regarding communication, it's again a question for you, Matthew.
Well, that's a great question because we've spent a lot of time and effort in making sure that our platform is secure. So our applications communicate with 3CX through a REST API. That REST API is encrypted using SSL, TLS technically. But in addition to that, you also have the client application has to request a token from the 3CX server, and to request that token, it has to have a public secret key that was shared with that application. But because, remember, the data is encrypted between the two, there's no way for them to sniff that packet, for example, to get the key. So you submit a request for a token, provided that all of the credentials are correct, then the 3CX server will return a token. And then every request thereafter requires that that token is included. Further, that token has an expiration time of about 15 minutes. So even if by some strange situation a hacker was able to get a hold of a token, it's going to expire. So now I think we've done a lot of work to make sure that our platform is secure.
Thank you. Yep. Okay. If I take a look to the time, we are a bit over. So I would thank everyone for their attendance to the webinar. If you would have any kind of additional questions, please do not hesitate to contact us afterwards, VoIPTools, or direct form for us, email. So we are happily answering them. Great. Then I wish everyone a nice day, evening, or regarding and depending on a time zone. And thank you for attendance.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.